Life is never easy for Mr. Arnel Casanova. That is why he advised all young Filipinos to believe, have faith, and be hopeful that every hard work is an inch closer to your dreams. So good morning, Arnel. Welcome to the show called Self-Made.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Well, listening to you this morning speaking, wow. Basically, me myself, I am very inspired. So, where did you get that kind of message, that passion, that love? Can you share when you were during your childhood?
In my time, I was not able to even access books. In my elementary, I was able to read. You know where? In the comic stand, in the sari-sari store where you have this comic magazine hanging on the wire, right? And for rent, right? You know that?
Tama.
In the canto.
Kala ko mas bata ka sa akin, ha?
No. So I learned to read about funny comics, Superstar, Liwayway. They're all for rent. But because I didn't have money, so I had to read from somebody else who's reading it. So I had to sit beside that person. And then as he flips the pages, I had to read fast. And that gave me a photographic memory. Actually, because which helped me a lot in law school. I'm a poor boy who actually achieved his dreams. And, growing up as poor, I live in a farm. And I was the first college graduate in my family. In fact, education seems to be quite difficult to achieve. And I moved to the city for education, and eventually I got accepted to UP, and then became a lawyer. So, and then got employed in the BCDA and did a lot of things. So, most of the things that I do are driven by that desire, great desire to make people's lives better. Because I've been to a difficult life myself, and I think it's part of paying it forward.
What's the biggest challenging experience you experienced when you were a kid coming from the province?
Oh yeah, well of course, when you're coming from the province, particularly when you live in a farm, far from the town center, getting to a city, a big city like Manila, is like a dream come true as well. I think that holds true for our kababayans coming from Mindanao and the Visayas as well. So there's a bit of culture shock, and also I had to send myself to school. So I went to UP, applied for admission there, and I got admitted, unfortunately. And by the grace of God, I was also granted a scholarship.
Oh, galing.
And then, well, the greatest challenge, I guess, for any student coming from the provinces is how to live within the city itself. Because you may have scholarship, but then the cost of living is high, right? You need to eat, you need to move, you need transport fare. So at that time, what I did is I applied for a job in Jollibee.
Oh,
so I was
self-study ka talaga.
Yes. So I've been working since I was in college. In fact, even high school.
Ay, galing.
Yeah. But because there's no choice. When life gives you no choices, just make a choice and just stick to it, right? So, and a lot of hard work. Yeah.
Were you became so insecure during high school and university?
I guess if I may share a story, I was able to turn myself around when I was still in grade 6, because I realized society has its own prejudice, particularly against poor people. I remember when I was younger, I was accused of stealing. It's wrongfully accused of stealing because I was known to be a poor student, always have no money, always hungry. So, and I was also filthy. I was not as handsome as I am now. My parents could not tend to us, so we had to tend to ourselves. So we, as early as 7-year-old, we were already doing our own laundry, cooking food, and doing household chores. So we grew up really in a hard work and doing all the chores ourselves. So, but then at the time, as I said, I was accused wrongly, and it was for a child that was a very painful and traumatic experience to be accused of something that you never done, and of course because you realize that it's because you're poor.
Yes.
So, so I realized that I had to live my life on my own, because regardless of society's prejudice, I will always have to fight against it. I will always have to prove people that they're wrong in passing judgment on people because of their economic status. So I didn't mind getting honors even if I was part of the honor roll, but mostly just to learn and continuous learning until eventually a lot of opportunities opened up for me and I was able to achieve where I am now. So either you take it negatively as you despair, or you take it positively as I did, which I said, okay, I'm going to prove all of you wrong, and I did. So, and I'm saying that not to be boastful, but to be really proud of that. Really, prejudice has nothing to do with who you are.
Yes. So what's next to Arnel Casanova?
I want to make the world a better place.
Oh, beautiful!
No matter how cliche that is, I realize that my calling is really to help in building cities, because when you build cities, that's also where you'll find you promote dignity for people in housing, infrastructure, right? People deserve better. People, regardless of their economic status, must be given the amount of dignity as a human being.
Majority of Filipinos are still keep from below poverty. So what they should do to hit their goals like you?
I think my message is really to just believe in themselves.
Yes.
Never depend on anyone else, except God, of course. But you know, the decision to improve our lives rests on us. It's not on somebody else's.
Yes.
So the hard work that you have to do is by yourself, not somebody else. So, but you must believe first that you can do it, and you can really do it. I would always believe in your capability to think better and to achieve better. Yeah, I think there should be walang bobong tao. But what the most important thing is character.
Yes. So thank you very much, Arnel. I'm
Thank
more
you,
inspired.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Every success has its struggles. Every dream has its trials and tests. Listen to their stories, because if they did it, you can also be called self-made.